think the most popular way to join these, if you wanted to make a big tabletop out of them, is take the two straightest sides, mark a straight line, do a normal glue joint. But what if we wanted to join them like this? But I recently saw a video of someone saying there's no good way to do this without a CNC, and I know a way. So the whole idea behind this is to save a lot of the natural grain rotation and have a really natural looking glue joint. So these are really thin live edge pieces here. So I'm gonna try to glue it something like this, and then have a curving glue joint all the way down. And the only thing I should need as far as tools go, power tools, is a jigsaw. The first thing we gotta do is get this bark off here. So to get a good glue joint, you have to get that bark off. But I'm also not a fan at all of leaving bark on any table. And my favorite way to do that is draw a knife. And if you're new to hand tools, draw a knife is a great tool, especially for this rough cutting stuff. So this is what I've settled on. Follow the grain lines and start making a mark. Coming down here and just roughly following the grain marks. Definitely not perfect. That's where I'm going to trim this board at. You can see I've come in here, cut across the sapwood, and then gave it a kind of natural little swoop. And then I pick up on this complete grain line, ride it over here. It straightens out, but instead of curving in a little bit, I go straight across. Just give a little bit of natural curve in it and head on down. I'm gonna go ahead and take our jigsaw and cut that line. It doesn't have to be nailed down perfect. And then once we have that edge cut, we can go ahead and transfer that onto our other panel. So now that I have this edge cut, I've got this side propped up on the offcut here. And I'm gonna just go ahead and transfer this line. So I have my line transferred, and now we're ready to cut it out. So as you can see, right here's my biggest problem. I've got this board clamped with moderate pressure. You don't want to be squeezing this thing too tight. So this is our problem, but really what our problem is, back here it's already touching, it can't squeeze together anymore. So what I'm going to do is run my jigsaw right down that gap wherever it's touching. So I haven't had to move our bark clamps yet because right here's our next problem area. This whole area right here is touching. And so it looks like I have a big enough gap to drop in right here. And I'm just going to run the jigsaw right through here. So this is going to be our next problem area. And I expect a lot of movement out of this next cut. And I expect a lot of movement out of this next cut. That's not the type of movement I was expecting. So I had those bar clamps on there way too tight. It was pinching the blade too much, and it just caught it and burnt my blade. But they sell them in 5-packs, so we're gonna keep on keeping on. So I went and got some shop shades, so if the blade goes flying, it's not gonna go in my eye. And then my beautiful fiance got me this apron to protect my nice sweatered shirt that I have on. And it's got pockets. So we did get a lot of movement on that last cut. Still got a major gap up here. But you can see right here that this area is already starting to look good. So every time that I go in and cut down this gap, I'm touching this side, this board, and this board. And so that's trimming both sides, but with one blade and one cut, so it's doing it perfectly. So in this corner here, I'm making that turn. If this blade gets in a bind and gets pushed this way, I don't care, because it's cutting this in and it's cutting exactly the match on this side. So if we keep doing that to where every little cut gets us a little bit closer, eventually we'll have it perfectly, a perfect joint down through here with this nice natural edge. So I did my final cut and we're looking pretty darn good. So I got it out of the clamps, sanded it, and then wetted it and sanded it again. Got it up to about 120 grit. It's looking pretty darn good. This is our worst gap. And I think I can fill that with a little bit of wood glue and sawdust. But boy, the gap on a lot of it just looks pretty darn perfect. So if this is all you wanted to do, make a panel, maybe put some legs on it, then you'd be pretty close to done, but I'm actually going to try to turn this into a desk. So we're going to get started on that. So here it is. It's almost finished. I got to polish it a little bit more. But as you can see, I mitered my sides and made a little apron out of it. This allowed me to make a little concealed drawer. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'll show you the joint. But I had a friend who built his own home. He knows wood. I go, hey, you notice anything different about the slab? He goes, no, I'm not sure what you're talking about. And that's because I got almost like a glass-like finish on this top. Really smooth. And then you really have to point it out for people to notice the joint. So I still have to polish it a little bit. But you can see, especially here, it's so hard to tell where that joint is if you're just casually looking at it. Here's that hidden drawer. But I think this is a great alternative to doing river tables when you might have two slabs to make up the desired width that you want. If you don't like that river table look and it's starting to get played out because so many people are doing that, I think this is a great alternative. Still gets lots of visual interest in there without putting plastic in your woodwork. But if you guys like this video, just like it, I guess. Maybe I'll make another one in 7 years. I think it's been that long since I posted my last one, but thanks a lot.